Greetings, brethren and sisters. Greetings in the name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I, one God. Ethiopians, those at home and abroad. Today, as a people, when we look at Ethiopia, we see and understand that repatriation has to be abbreviated because His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Selassie I, constitutional government have been overthrown from 1974 until this day. The present government has failed so far to implement that restoration of that constitutional government that belongs to the people. We as a people of the Caribbean should play an important part within the democracy of our countries, of our respective country. The Rastafarians has upheld the cultural identity that we as a people don't totally forget where we are coming from and where we are going. As a grassroots people of our respective country, we should play an important part within the democracy that our children, the unborn, don't come and suffer the same fate as our foreparents within education, housing, employment, and health. We cannot allow our country to develop and we don't play a part. We cannot allow our country to develop and our children don't get a proper education. We cannot allow our country to develop and there is no proper health care for our children. We cannot allow our country to develop and our people cannot find the way to care for their children. The industrial age is in a loss right now because technology has taken over most of these countries where our children been shut out because they don't have that education because it wasn't given to them as a people. Employment, you can look at it in our streets today. They have more sellers than buyers, but they cannot help it because they have children to care for, they have rent to pay, they have their children to send to schools. So they have to find ways to help themselves because our country never seek loan from the IMF nor the World Bank or none of these people to invest it in our people that they can become own some form of business. You have to do informal higgling, informal selling to earn a bread so that their children can go to school and find food. They spend their monies, their funds with the same commercial people, the Syrian, the Chinese, and all these people, and buy their goods, and they don't have a proper facility, a proper market to go and sell their wares. because most of the people who is selling now in I can say in other countries, Caribbean, is to find food for their children, and they buy it from the same commercial owners, that is the Chinese, the Syrians, and everyone. They spend their money with them, and they don't have anywhere to sell it. God, there weren't any place proper that set up by the establishment to facilitate them. So there's a struggle. The people within the health sector, our children and our people who's in some of our hospitals, they can't afford to buy certain things. They have to have funds to go out there to buy things for their own health. Yes, if a man want a tube and a bag for put on him side, he have to go out there, go find it, and in the sick bed. God, the hospital doesn't have those things. So we are looking at the whole thing now with the grassroots people who can't even care for themselves. So we have to play an important part as a people. The Rastafarian have been telling our people from a longer time, culturally, how to eat and how to develop themselves as a people. The Rastafarians, them is the first people who suffer within the herb trade that them call ganja. Rasta is the first people to go to prison, to go to everywhere, suffering with that, and now we see it's been taken over by other people, regardless of the consequence. You understand? You have people now who is wealth-off people, rich people, is now taking it over, and the Rastafarian and the grassroots people suffer for that cause. So we now have to play an important part as a people in our respective country. Yes, because we went through colonialism, where education, it takes a while for our children to be enrolled in a proper school. If it wasn't for a man them called Edwin Allen, some of the children them couldn't go to a secondary school. It takes years. It takes over 6 years for our children to enroll in a school after slavery, get the proper education. So we have to play an important part now, because I can reverse back to what it was within our foreparents' time. We have to play an important part. Yes. So wherever we is, as Caribbean people, we know we suffer the same fate. We're looking into Haiti. When we look at Haiti, we see our people suffer, because no one wants to look at the poor of the country. No one wants to set up proper facility for the poor of the country. We cannot sit by and look and say, so it is, and so it must be. No. We must play an important part within this democracy. We, wherever we is, speak to the different people of our constituency, ministers, senators, let our voice be heard. We must do that. Ask for the things that we are in need. Education, employment, But education is the key, you know. It's the key. And too much of our children not getting proper education. Yes. You know, and healthcare, and employment. So that's why we find the commercial people exploit our people and toss them and show them round and around, you know, because they have to find food for them children and them parents, them age protected, infant care for, and sick nourished. Them have that. Not only Rasta, but the grassroots people suffer the same fate. So it's not like business as usual, that one government come in and the next one come out and the next one come in, and you understand, and they fight their one another and not fight for the people rights. Because opposition and the government supposed to work hand in hand for the people. Hand in hand for the people. And the Ethiopian African people is 98.8% of the Jamaican people. And the people of Jamaica is the greatest asset. Because them put money in everyone's pocket. It's them make the GDP go up. It's them. It's not the government and the opposition. It's the people, the majority, 98.8%. It's not the IMF, the World Bank, nor the Chinese funds. No. Because we don't see where it benefits the people. If we didn't have entertainers to help, to support the Bustamante Children's Hospital to gather certain things that they need to help our children, how it would be? Eh? We have to correct the whole abuse now as a people if we care for our Jamaican people. And Jamaican people must be an important part in this democracy. Make them voice be heard. And when we say Jamaica, we talk the whole Caribbean. We're talking about Haiti. We look at our people, they suffer over Haiti and other countries, other Caribbean countries. So we now have to play an important part, and the Rastafarian, who is the vanguard for the Caribbean people, guys must come here and say that Jamaica and Ethiopia is a lighthouse for the world and shall bring peace to the world. So listen to the Rastafarian people and work with them, because it's managed to leave an institution here. Yes, the Imperial Ethiopian World Federation Incorporated and the Church of Emperor Haile Selassie I. So they've never leave it in darkness. You understand? They never leave in darkness. And we have a God where we can visualize and depict. Because our fathers be born at the seed. Our God have children. Not a man who come up from out of the sky and darkness. Our God have children. And show how to live and how to be fruitful and multiply. And build our nation. You understand? So we know as a people have to look into the whole affairs of where we are going and where we are coming from as a people. You understand? Because we say again, we is 98.8% of the Jamaican people, African, Ethiopian people. You understand? So we know must play an important part, and the government should and must make Rastafarian community, especially in particular the Imperial Ethiopian World Federation Incorporated, be a part of the Senate, so we can represent grassroots people and our voice can be heard, that we can play an important part, put an input in the whole development of this country, because not everything government and opposition say. Liaison with the grassroots people, which is the vanguard of the Ethiopian people, those at home and abroad, which is the Imperial Ethiopian World Federation and the Church of Haile Selassie I. So they must work with them and ensure that our spiritual leader Abuna Emmanuel Fox be inducted into the Senate to play an important part and let the voice be heard, because you have to have someone there to represent the grassroots people. I'm telling you, you have to have someone there to represent the grassroots people. And within the Caribbean, the Imperial Ethiopian World Federation Incorporated and the Church of Emperor Haile Selassie I is within the Caribbean. And the Caribbean people must stretch forth their hands unto that institution. Because when they stretch forth their hands unto the Church of Haile Selassie I and the Imperial Ethiopian World Federation, they stretching out their hands unto God. Because we see today in the paper where the Pope says Lucifer is God. So every time they cannot depict or visualize a God. You understand? Them say all kind of thing. But we know you have to correct the abuse. You understand? Remember, within the whole ecumenical order, Christian, Muslim, Judeo-Christianity and Islam is not the only religion. There are other religions. So they must make Rastafarian people get a voice also. And the people of the Caribbean should and must be a part of this institution that belongs to His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I. Can never leave you alone as Caribbean people. When His Majesty come here in 1966, he visited all the Caribbean countries and he strengthened all the suffering people of this world. You understand? He helped them. So, brethren and sisters, it's time now we play an important part within the democracy of our respective country. You understand? So, in particular, Jamaica. You understand? Come in and be a part of this struggle for a free and liberated Ethiopia. And when we say liberated Ethiopia, it's managed to make a provision that Jamaica should be a part of one of the provinces of Ethiopia. You understand? Same likewise Trinidad, Barbados, and all these countries. So, Marcus Garvey is not here anymore. You understand? But Rastafarian is here. You understand? To ensure the continuity of our people and our children and the rights of our people and our children and the unborn is to come. You understand? So, brothers and sisters, play our part, because we know that one day Ethiopia will be free and the return of the monarchy under the constitutional government of Emperor Haile Selassie I. So we can have more strength as a people. Because we're not Norwegian, we're not from the Japhet, nor the Shen. We are from ancient order of Ethiopia, the Kushites. So we cannot let go of our identity as a people. Wherever it is within the Caribbean, we must stand up for our rights and for our children and the unborn who is to come, protect them. And as I said before, call upon your senators, your members of parliament, wherever it is in any country, and demand your rights. You understand, as a people. So, brethren and sisters, we say, blessed be Jah, Emperor Haile Selassie I, one God.
Greetings in the name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Selassie I, the living God. To the brethren in New York, Yabuna, the Abbot, emissaries, the brethren, Barbetta family, worldwide. We give thanks right now in Jamaica, the headquarters, where we get this opportunity to speak to you and the world about what's going on in the Rastafarian community in Jamaica and throughout the rest of the Caribbean. Things that needs to be correct can only be correct through education and support of the policies by the politicians. Them have to reshape their policies, and Rastafarians, we must play that role in it through the Church of Emperor Selassie I and the Imperial Ethiopian World Federation, the government of His Majesty that He give us to use as a vehicle to get to those means and to restore the monarchy, which is the ultimate objective for I and I, because that is where our salvation is, the root of the whole thing, to restore the monarchy. And we're going to intensify the whole thing right now, because we realize that in this time it's demanded for that, to intensify our effort, as Majesty said, to redouble our effort. The people of the world who love justice and truth, because you can't leave out truth, it's a part of justice. So we need these people who support this struggle to come and support the organization, the restoration of God government, the monarchy that was overthrown. Because we must not forget that it was overthrown illegitimately. And the people in the Caribbean, this part of the world where colonialism has left its mark, just like in Africa and in other parts of the world like Asia, that it's left a devastating state because the people are uneducated. There's a large proportion of people that are walking in ignorance in terms of they have no understanding of the whole cultural identity. And Rastafarians, we hold on to that, in particular the Church of Emperor Haile Selassie I and IEWF, because that's the root. We are the root of the Jamaican people, the indigenous. So we have what to offer. We have what is needed to correct all this abuse that colonialism has brought and imperialism has brought, and the ravages and the wars that have left since the early 30s on the earth, and even since 74 that been going on in Ethiopia and surrounding countries with Ethiopia. And a lot of things that needs to be correct, and the people need to know these things to have a connection with the truth, so that they can make decision within themselves to give justice where justice is due, and that's to restore the monarchy. That is our main objective, is to restore the monarchy. In the meantime, we have to educate the people. We have to do the things in a spirit of truth, because you know, I'm talking to you who understand what I'm saying. The truth is the truth. This is Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I, his government, it was overthrown. That's the truth. The people that is in the Caribbean, in particular Jamaica, are people that's been disenfranchised through this whole overthrow, the Rastafarian community. So we need representation in the government to create a unity within the Rastafarian community. We need unity within the Rastafarian community. And the Rastafarian who walk in ignorance and don't understand politics and don't understand pretty much around the reality, because it's only ignorance can make statements born politics. It's only ignorance can make statements born religion, because it's God and country. God is about morality, it's about spirituality, it's about within man, the conscious side of man, divine side of man. And the politics is the food you eat, the education that you get, the roof over your head, your community. The grassroots are living in slums condition. In this, I see it firsthand. I see it. It's a reality. So I'm not lying to you. So these are things that have to be addressed to bring about salvation to the people, raise their level of education through connecting them with their roots. The policies must correct that. And we understand that those who are governing the country, there are some within the government, both opposition and ruling class, and those that see the need for support, but true, they're afraid of terror by night and fright by day. And these are things that hold people back from giving injustice. Well, we say that we don't see it that way. We see that, as His Majesty said, throughout history has been the inaction of those who could have acted, and the indifference of those who should have known better, and the silence of the voice of justice when it mattered most, that have allowed evil to triumph. So these are times now, no need to be silent, because we see that our effort has brought down regimes that were opposed to our objective, which is to restore back the monarchy. And we know that we have support within the free world, and it's not going to change. It's going to intensify, because we're going to redouble our efforts, so that way this problem, huge, gigantic problem, can be corrected. Because it's a problem not only in Jamaica but throughout the Caribbean, where that need for unity within the Rastafarian community is now in the grassroots, to bring about a true representation to correct the ignorance and the hunger and the disease, because that is where ignorance leads to, hunger and disease, and there's a lot of it right now. So we're calling upon all of those who support this movement, the restoration of the monarchy, and for Rastafarians to have representation in the Jamaican Parliament, in the Barbados Parliament, in the Trinidadian Parliament, in the Antigua Parliament, wherever Rastafarians are in the Caribbean, to have their representation, so that way they can have what they need instead of what they don't need, which is what they're getting now from the policies them. Yeah, God said it in the Psalms. He says that rid the poor from the wicked, rid them from the hands of the wicked. They know not, neither do they understand. They walk on the darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out, of course. So His Majesty, the words of God speak, and we see it's not a lie. Because democracy, we use it, He says to use it for essential principles. But we see where it has failed the people in a lot of sense. However, there's still the essentials in there where we can get what we need from it. And that's the reality. Communism, fascism, all of these ideologies have failed the people. Theocracy, monarchy of Emperor Haile Selassie government have never failed. It's never failed. It's the people who were invaded by colonialism and the different ideologies, catechism, Nazism, fascism, that divide the people. So we are going to correct it. And we know that restoration is a must. But the reality is that we need to do work, because faith without works is dead. And we must bear our cross. We must bear our cross, right? And that cross is to recognize the truth that we in ourselves have to go in ourselves as a people, and go in ourselves and take and humble ourselves and take correction from God government. Because God, He never left us. Yeah, you might not see Him in the flesh around, but He's never left us. He's where He is, but He leaves His government for us to use to free ourselves and restore His monarchy, which is the dynasty of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I. So, I'm going to say this to the Jamaican people. It's time that you start to look again in yourself, because His Majesty said Jamaica and Ethiopia hold the key to world peace. And we're going to intensify the whole thing to educate. We're going to go on the radios, we're going to go on the TVs, we're going to go through the media, so that way we can get to educate the people and get the people to understand, so that way we can all bring about the unity that is needed in this time to restore the monarchy and to have that representation that we need to do it. And that I say, blessed be Jah, Emperor Haile Selassie I, the living God. Majesty.